Mitrom and Bandhuvom, welcome to South Asia Maps. This is your articulate presenter REddy. At South Asia Maps, which is an educational channel, I will bring the heritage and culture of South Asian region in the iconographic form, in the form of maps, pictures and images. And today, the topic of discussion is Nizam Asaf Jah I. There were 7 Nizams in the Hyderabad state, later Hyderabad princely state. We are talking about the first one, 1671 to 1748, and his family. And before we dive into the topic, if you are following me from other social media channels, I really appreciate, and if you think this information is very interesting, valuable to you, please go to my main YouTube channel, SouthAsiaMaps.com, South Asia Maps, REddy, and there you can find large number of presentations, high quality presentations on varied topics about the Indian culture and heritage. You can see here each topic presentation is made with unique maps meticulously redrawn many times for your understanding and grasping for your easy articulation. So please go there and subscribe our channel and make your friends know about the unique resource for learning South Asian region in the form of maps, graphs, excuse me for my allergies, and icons. Today's topic of discussion is the Nizam Asaf Jah I, 1671 and 1748. If you take 30 years here before that century and round about 50 years, he survived nearly 80 years. That means almost 78 years. That is a very long life in the medieval Indian time. And last time I discussed about his important mentor and leader, Mughal ruler Mughal Aurangzeb, that is Alamgir I Badshah, and his family extensively. I covered about that. Today I will be covering about Nizam. Why Nizam is such an important personality? In order to understand Islam in South Asia, because Islam played a very militant and devastating role in the South Asian political and cultural life. Of course, it played everywhere, but we are only concerned about our region. You have to know about its most prominent leaders. If you take in the world overall, let's say if you put the top 10 or 15 leaders that Muslims love or admire a lot, that means the first half a dozen will be Muhammad and Ali, Umar and Uthman, and the immediate successors called Rashidun Caliphate. There will be 6 or 7 or so. The remaining 7 or 8, maybe 10 maximum, among which Aurangzeb will be one person. Such an important personality, Aurangzeb, we covered in the previous chart presentation. Aurangzeb was born in 1616, if you remember, 1616, actually 1618, and he passed away 1707. Asaf Jah overlapped his life. When Aurangzeb was passed away 1707, Asaf Jah Nizam-ul-Mulk was round about 38 years old. He survived more than almost 40 years more. That means nearly 140 years or so, they played a very prominent role in the political life and military life and social life of the Mughal Empire. So you have to know them in and out. One important thing you can know about is their family. If you know about their family, their children, and what the children did and where they died, what battles they waged, so on, you get a very broad idea about the Islamic life and military life of that particular time. Here I have shown the Mughal Subahs. Subah means a province, like a union territory or state, something like that in the modern times. There were more than 20 Mughal Subahs at that time. We are here concerned only about Deccani Subahs. Subahs, that is the Mughal provinces present in Deccan region, that is South India, or Dakshin Bharat, south of Satpura mountains and Tapati river, south of Burhanpur Pass, that is the Kandwa region of former central provinces, somewhere here, adjoining the Khandesh and Bera. All these 6 provinces are very important. That is the Khandesh, that is Dhulia and Jalgaon, that is of northern Maharashtra today, and Bera, that is essentially the Melghat region, and Amaravati, Akola, Buldana, Yavatmal or Vani or Pusad and Washim, those areas west of Vardha river. There will be somewhere Vardha river here, and east of that you will have the Vidarbha region, that is the Nagpur region. Then Aurangabad region, that is the Aurangabad and Usmanabad and Jalna, Parbani, Nanded and all those regions. And the Bidar region, that is the Bidar Subah, Aurangabad Subah, Berar Subah, Khandesh Subah. These are the Subahs. The first 3 Subahs were at the time of Akbar, at the time of Shah Jahan, when passed away, and there were 4 Subahs, and later Aurangzeb conquered and annexed and destroyed the last 2 Shia kingdoms of South India, Deccan. Qutub Shahis at Hyderabad, Golconda, and Adil Shahis at Vijapur in the Carnatic Maidan region. So we got 6 here. So these are 6 Subahs of Deccan time, Aurangzeb time, and Aurangzeb fought 25 years of war in Deccan and passed away at Ahmednagar or Nagar, sometimes is called, that is north of Pune, and was buried near Aurangabad in a place called Kuldabad. When then why are we bringing Aurangzeb? Means Aurangzeb's life overlaps with Nizam's life. When Aurangzeb passed away, Nizam was round about 37 years old. Nizam's forefathers I have mentioned here, and you will get a good idea. Khwaja Abid Khan Siddiq was from the Turanian region, that is today Central Asia, formerly Soviet republics. That is the Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and all those regions, like Bukhara, Samarkand, Tashkent, and all those areas. And Abid Khan Siddiq came at the time of Shah Jahan in place the homage, and immediately he got a very high position in the Mughal court. That was a normal case at that time, very high position. Anybody coming from Central Asia, Persia, or Arabia, and they were highly valued and immediately appointed to very high positions in the Mughal court. And he went for Hajj, and when he came back, and he was made a prominent minister and continued. And his son Ghazi-ud-din Khan was also a very prominent leader, and his son Qamar-ud-din Khan. Qamar-ud-din is nothing but original name for Asaf Jah. Asaf Jah means a Persian title. Asaf means like a corrupted form of Aesop. A very wise person in the biblical literature. That means a very wise person essentially. When Aurangzeb was fighting Deccani wars with Marathas and Shia kingdoms in Deccan, these two leaders, Ghazi-ud-din Khan and his father Kilich Khan or Khwaja Abid Khan Siddiq, played a very prominent role. 1689, Aurangzeb started seizing the Golconda fort, and during the Cannon fire it hit Khwaja Abid Kilich Khan and his son Ghazi-ud-din Khan. Kilich Khan passed away within a week or so, and Ghazi-ud-din Khan got infected by the fire, struck and got blind in the eye. In Islamic culture, generally when a person becomes blind, he is of no value in the ruling. But instead of that, his services were so valued. Aurangzeb has a very high respect for the whole family. He appointed Ghazi-ud-din Khan as a governor of Gujarat province, even though he was blind. That happened around about 1789 or 90, so he passed away peacefully 1710 or so. That means after 3 years of the death of Alamgir, Mughal Badshah Aurangzeb. And when Aurangzeb passed away, Qamar-ud-din, that is the future Asaf Jah, was a prominent leader in Deccan, and he didn't take part in the fight for the throne among the pretenders of Aurangzeb. Nizam Jah, one of the ablest son and general of Aurangzeb, was in Malwa, close to Aurangabad. Other son, Muazzam Shah, was in Kabul, across the Khyber Pass. And he stayed neutral. Nizam Jah didn't say anything, because the fact he didn't join his rival itself was also an advantage. He recognized his position and instated him as a prominent position in the Bijapur, went away to fight for the real throne. At Agra, he lost the battle and got killed, and Muazzam became the emperor in 1707, titled Bahadur Shah. And he came in Deccan to fight with Kambakhsh, his brother, and Kambakhsh was killed, and Qamar-ud-din Khan was kept in the same position. Later, Sayyid brothers took over the power within 5 years or so, but Sayyid brothers are Hindustani Muslims. There was the 3 fractions in the Mughal court: Hindustani Muslims and Turani Muslims and Persian Muslims, among which Hindustani Muslims has a very low position, and they were not the prominent leaders. They were given a secondary and tertiary positions essentially. Then Sayyid brothers became the prime minister, and next to the defense minister, Hussein and Hassan. Nizam didn't like them that much, but he didn't quarrel with them. When Sayyid brothers got unpopular, he rebelled against them and helped Muhammad Shah to become the emperor of Mughals. And Muhammad Shah appointed him as the Diwan, or the chief minister, Wazir of Mughal Empire, and that was around about 1920. And Asaf Jah didn't like him that much. He put a leave and came to Deccan and rebelled against him and won the war in the Hyderabad region, Battle of Shahar Khada, and declared his kingdom except in the name Hyderabad. He remained nominally acknowledging the Mughal ruler. Later Muhammad Shah reconciled and sent a title. Nizam-ul-Mulk means regulator of the entire empire, the controller of the empire. And he has a prominent rivals among the Marathas. He fought them, and finally Nizam was not successful, but is a very prominent political military leader. Also we consider a very talented person. Also, like that many leaders, he won some battles, lost many battles. After some time, Muhammad Shah considered him as a friend, philosopher and guide, because he was almost 30 years senior to Muhammad Shah, Mughal emperor, and died almost the same year in 1748. Muhammad Shah passed away, and Shivaji's grandson Shahu Maharaj Chhatrapati also passed away same time, and Nadir Shah was also passed away, I think, few months before in Persia, and Nizam also passed away at that time. So the Nizam, when he passed away, he left innumerable sons and daughters. These are the chief among the family. Ghazi-ud-din Firoz Jang. Remember, this Ghazi-ud-din is the name of his father, Ghazi-ud-din. His real name is Qamar-ud-din. And his grandfather is Kilich Khan. Ghazi-ud-din, when the father passed away, was at Muhammad Shah court as his father's representative. He started making journey to South India to claim the throne of Hyderabad state. At Burhanpur, Nizam's other wives invited him for dinner, where he was poisoned to death. He has the support of Marathas. He is considered to be friendly to the Marathas, that is the Peshwa, Nana Sahib, that is the Bajirau's son, or Balaji Bajirao. Excuse me. That's the first son died round about 1752. Second son Nazir Jang rebelled against his father many times. When the father died, Nazir Jang took the crown for himself and declared himself the Nizam of Hyderabad. And the Karnataka war broke down near Arcot. Nazir Jang went there to set the matters right. In the Karnataka war, French and the British took to two opposite sides. When the Nazir Jang took the crown, and Nizamia's daughter married to a Mughal prince, Mughal Ali, and has a grandson called Muzaffar Jang. Muzaffar Jang was a favorite of Nizam. Muzaffar Jang and mother claimed the Nizam nominated him as a successor, so he became the claimant. It is called pretender to the throne or contender to the throne. And now there are two contenders, Nazar Jang and Muzaffar Jang. Muzaffar Jang went to Carnatic. That means that's the region between the Krishna river and south of Kaveri river. The entire coastal area is called Carnatic region. At that time, historic Carnatic, essentially centered around Tiruchirappalli, Tanjavur and South Arcot, Chengalpattu, Nellore and Ongole Prakasham, and south of it is like Ramanath and Tirunelveli, those areas. Muzaffar Jang was supported by the French, and his ally was Chanda Sahib, who was contesting for the throne at Arcot, Carnatic Nawabi. Naturally, Nazir Jang was supported by the British, and he wanted Muhammad Wallaja to be the ruler of Carnatic. At that what happened, there were the Nawabs under Nizam's control, Nawab of Kurnool on Tungabhadra river, Nawab of Kadapa on Penna river, Nawab of Savanur north of Tungabhadra river. All of them, they fired at Nazar Jang and killed him because they didn't get a fair deal. When Nazar Jang died, immediately Bussi, who was the general army in charge of the French contingent, raised Muzaffar Jang as the Nizam of Hyderabad state. At that time, Hyderabad state has its headquarters at Aurangabad, that is south of Ajanta mountain range, that is the north of Godavari valley region, next to Jalna. Later, the capital was moved to on the bank of Musi river near Golconda to Hyderabad city. So, and Muzaffar Jang within couple of days again fired killed by the same Nawabs, three Nawabs. Where Muzaffar Jang, that is the grandson of Nizam, got killed, Bussi, who was escorting Muzaffar Jang from Arcot to Aurangabad, immediately raised to the throne Salabad Jang, other son of Nizam. So he took Salabad Jang to Aurangabad, put them on the throne, on the gaddi, and was in charge of his affairs. Virtually, the state became a protectorate of French East India Company. Later, in the Third Carnatic War, when the French governor called Bussi to come to Karnataka to fight, the power of Salabad Jung collapsed and Bussi lost the Karnataka and were made prisoner, and the British won the third Carnatic war. So eventually they became masters of the Nizam few years later. When at that time what happened was exactly at Panipat in 1761, few months before Salabad Jung was died, Marathas lost the Panipat III battle against the Afghan Ahmad Shah Abdali and his Musalman allies of North India. Rohilas, Najib-ud-Dawla, Nawab of Bangash, Nawab of Farrukhabad, and Nawab of Awadh, Suzah-ud-Dawla, and all those rulers. When they lost in 1761, and Salabad Jung was friendly with the Nice Marathas, even though Salabad Jung was the ruler, the entire government was controlled by his brother, his military advisor Nizam Ali Khan. As soon as Marathas lost, Nizam Ali Khan became very powerful because now they know his brother has no support. He has no support of Bussi, and nor Marathas can come his help. Immediately he arrested his brother Salabad Jung, put him in prison. This happened a few weeks after Panipat battle, and after few months Salabad Jung was poisoned and he passed away 1762, few months after battle of Panipat. So Ghazi-ud-Din, first son, who was the claimant throne, was poisoned by his stepmother at Burhanpur, passed away earlier, and Muzaffar Jung was killed by the Nawab of Kadapa and Kurnool, and Nazir Jung was also killed, and Salabad Jung was the nominal ruler for nearly 10 years, was also finally imprisoned and poisoned to death. Nizam Ali Khan became the Nizam. So he is the son of Nizam, actually Asaf Jah II. That means the intervening three rulers, Nazar Jung, Muzaffar Jung, and Salabad Jung, were not called Asaf Jahs. Only Asaf Jah II is Nizam Ali Khan, you can remember. Nizam and Nizam Ali Khan, he passed away 1803. He is the one who made subsidiary alliance with the British and allowed the British to come to Hyderabad state. Hyderabad state became the protectorate. British established their cantonment of forces in Hyderabad across the lake Tank Hussain Sagar, and they built the city later called Sikindrabad because it was named after Nizam Ali Khan's son Sikindar Jah. Sikindar Jah was the grandson of Asaf Jah I, son of Asaf Jah II, that is Nizam Ali Khan. When we talk about the Nizam's family, we should also talk about the Nizam's collateral family. That's very, very important. They played a very prominent role in the political military lives of India. And these are called sourcemen of Islam. Islam was established in Mecca and Medina by the sourcemen, people who use the sword. That means nobody purchased their product, Allah of Quran. Finally, Muhammad won the battle of Badr and many battles of Khandak and forced the reluctant tribes and established Islam. That's called sourcemen of Islam. In India, the prominent sourcemen of Islam are Ghaznavis, Ghoris, Mamluk Sultans, the Tughlaqs, and Bahmani Sultans. Here we are concerned about this prominent swordmen of Islam in Deccan, Nizam of Hyderabad, Asaf Jah I. So, in Mughal Empire, before Asaf Jah I, his cousin Muhammad Amin Khan was the Diwan, that's the Wazir, the Prime Minister. He served nearly 2-3 years, after which actually Nizam-ul-Mulk succeeded. Nizam-ul-Mulk is actually the nephew of Muhammad Amin Khan. Muhammad Amin Khan's father and Nizam's grandfather, they were like cousins or brothers or something like that, came from few generations, the same parents. Muhammad Amin Khan, succeeded by Nizam-ul-Mulk. He resigned the office and came to South India and established Hyderabad state in 1724 when he won Battle of Saharkada in the Berar region, that is the north of Ajanta mountain range. 1724, and he survived for 224 years. In 1948, Operation Polo dismantled the Hyderabad state, Hyderabad princely state. And after Nizam left, Mughal emperor appointed Muhammad Amin's son, Qamar-ud-din Khan. He nearly served the Mughal emperor for nearly 24 years as a wazir, the chief minister. Remember, 1724 to 48 is the same time that Nizam was the ruler of Hyderabad. The same time, his nephew was the Qamar-ud-din was the chief advisor or wazir of Mughal emperor. He was very young, so whenever Nizam used to go to Delhi to visit Muhammad Shah, Mughal emperor, he used to stand with folded hands. You see how much respect he used to have, even though he was the second in command of the Mughal emperor after Muhammad Shah. Qamar-ud-din, he died the natural death when he was fighting against Afghans at Battle of Manipur. He played a very important role in the Battle of Delhi. Bhopal, Karnal and Manipur were found. Afterwards, Nawab of Awadh, the Safdar Jang, that is the son-in-law of Nawab of Awadh, was there for a few years. Diwan of Mughal Emperor Wazir, and again succeeded by Qamar-ud-din's son, Intizam-ud-Dawla. Afterwards, again succeeded by his grandson. He is a grandson of Nizam, is Imad-ul-Mulk. Imad-ul-Mulk was Ghazi-ud-din's son. Here I have shown. Ghazi-ud-din was father's representative at Mughal court. He has a son called Imad-ul-Mulk. Ghazi-ud-din lost the contest for the battle because he was poisoned. His son succeeded his role as a representative of the Nizam at Mughal's court, and Intizam-ud-Dawla was deposed and he became the wazir. That means for almost 1720 to 40 years, he or his related family was very prominent leaders of Mughal Empire at Delhi. That is, the Nizam, Asaf Jah are the sourcemen of Islam in Deccan. Nizam was a great admirer of Aurangzeb because he was 37 and Aurangzeb passed away. He himself lived 40 years after Aurangzeb. That means almost from 1618 to 1748, nearly 140 years or so. Aurangzeb and Nizam, Asaf Jah I, and if you extend 50 years more, his son Nizam Ali Khan played a very prominent role in Deccani politics and Mughal politics. That is why it's very important to know about this unique family. After the World War I, Nizam's Hyderabad princely state is considered to be very prominent princely state on the planet Earth itself. This is because after the collapse of Turkish Empire, Ottoman sultans in Turkey, and that is the World War I disestablishment of that empire, the only major Shia Sunni state in the planet Earth was Nizam state. Even the granddaughter of the Sultan of Turkey was married to the son of the last Nizam, Usman Ali Khan, called Princess Durrushar, and it was also thought the last Nizam, Nizam VII, will take the title of the Khalifa of the Muslim. Khalifa means the ruler of the Muslims in the entire world. So that's why it's very, very important to know. So when we talk about this salesmen and swordsmen of Islam, the intellectual think tank, Mahayogi Sri Ram Swarup ji and Sitaram Goel ji and Acharya Coenrod, east from Belgium, voice of think tank India, who played a very important role in the Hindu Renaissance in the 20th century. Actually, Sitaram Goel ji coined this term, swordsmen of Islam, salesmen of Islam. By extending that, he has also coined the term salesmen of Christianity and swordsmen of Christianity, people who established. Salesmen of Christianity, sales girls of Christianity, and sales managers of Christianity in the planet Earth in various regions. Mother Teresa is one among them, selling this product to a lot of the third world country nations under the guise of providing some medical help. Philanthropism mixed with proselytization, called proselytizing philanthropy, called essentially the salesmen of Christianity under the very different disguise. So now we can look at the Nizam, Asaf Jah. Nizam-ul-Mulk means the regulator of the realm. Asaf Jah means is like a very wise person, a biblical character. We can see the Nizam of Hyderabad. He established the Hyderabad state in 1724 and passed away after 24 years. Easy to remember. 24 is 48. 1748, if you add 200 years, that becomes 1948, where Operation Polo, a 5-day, a small military action or a police action by Sardar Patel, merged the princely state of Hyderabad in Deccan into the dominion of India. So he was buried at Kuldabad near Aurangabad. He was the Hyderabad state. He established, he belonged to Asaf Jah I dynasty. His prominent sons here, the Firoz Jang, Nazir Jang, Salabat Jang. Firoz Jang means Ghazis-ud-din Firoz Jang, the first one, that is poisoned. Nazir Jang and Salabat Jang and Asaf Jah II, that is Nizam Ali Khan. And Basalat Jang, he was the fourth son, and he was also the ruler of a Sarkar, Guntur Sarkar, Guntur region. He passed away 1782, and afterwards Guntur Sarkar region was reverted back to the British East India Company, Bahadur, and he has many 7 daughters, and father Ghazis-ud-din Khan, Firoz Jang, and so on. He was the Sowar means a soldier, Fauzdar means protector of the force, and a Grand Wazir means the chief minister Diwan of Mughal Empire, Subadar of Deccan, that is the 6 provinces of Deccan, Hyderabad, Bijapur, that is the Bidar, and Aurangabad, Khandesh, and Berar, and so on. And these are some of the famous battles of the Nizam fought, and Nizam of Hyderabad princely state, and the final years, the territorial expansion of the princely state of Hyderabad we discuss today. So in a sense, today we discuss about a very prominent leader, Nizam Hyderabad. He was late contemporary of Aurangzeb, overlapped around about 38 years or so, a strong admirer of Aurangzeb, and Aurangzeb has a very important imprint on his political career, promoted their family, and Nizam has nearly half a dozen prominent sons: Firoz Jang, Ghazis-ud-din, Nazir Jang, Salabat Jang, Basalat Jang, the Sarkar, Guntur Sarkar, the ruler of Guntur Sarkar, Nizam Ali Khan, that is Asaf Jah II, passed away 1803, almost nearly more than 50 years of his father's death, and Sikindar Jah, his grandson, and Muzaffar Jang, his grandson, and so on. So that is in brief about the Nizam Asaf Jah I from 1671 to 1748. How do you remember his birth? You put 16 here, 17 here, you reverse it. 1671, and he passed away almost 200 years before the partition of India. If you say 1948 or so, not exactly, but that will help. And here is the map. Bijapur state, Hyderabad Subah, Bijapur Subah, Aurangabad Subah, Bidar Subah, Berar Subah, Khandesh Subah. Those are the 6 Subahs of Deccan. He was the Subadar of 6 Subahs of Deccan. Same title Aurangzeb held for a lot of years before he became the Mughal Badshah. Subadar of Deccan. He has 2 terms actually, and ruled from Aurangabad as his father's representative, that is Shah Jahan's representative. This is in brief about the Nizam Asaf Jah, and this is your presenter REddy, and appreciate you listening to my presentations, and also I appreciate if you can subscribe and promote our channel and let your friends know, and I will meet you later in the future presentations. Thank you very much. South Asia Maps, REddy, your presenter.